Why, hello. Welcome to another WheezyNews video in which we have a conversation, and I'm going to respond to another comment today. This one is from the last video from Sarah Bahruni. I'll just read some of it for you. How do I stop looking down on myself? Everyone I know seems to know every single new project in the student community and what everyone is up to and who did what and who dated who. This makes me feel so dumb when I'm hanging out with these people who most of them are my friends, and I start to not want to hang out with them because I feel like absolute trash when I'm with them. How do I stop comparing myself to others? All this stuff. I want to respond to this because I feel like the problem you're going through is a common one, and I think a lot of people could find some use from it. I've certainly felt this way before. There are things you can do to not feel this way. I took some notes here, and I'm going to reference them. But I guess, first of all, Vasil Simonov responded with one thing that I want to say, which is stop comparing yourself to others. That's something a lot of people say, that you shouldn't compare yourself to others. You should compare yourself to your past self. Just saying that, though, doesn't make it easy to do. One thing that's useful, not just for this, but for many things that I've been meaning to do, but I've never done myself, is keep a journal. It seems to make sense that would be a very helpful thing to do. If you keep a journal, it does a couple things. It gets all your thoughts out of your head. And once you write them down and you see them on paper on a regular basis, you see how some of them might just be silly. Some of them might be illogical, and they don't make sense. Also, it allows you to assess your day and see what you've accomplished that day. And then next journal, you can see how you've grown, how you've improved, and you can compare yourself to your past self and focus more on what you're doing rather than what other people perceive of you. This is in theory. I've never tried this myself. I've been meaning to try it, but that is one thing you can do to stop comparing yourself to others. Here's something else. Read. I've been reading a lot lately. That's something I have been trying to do lately because I've been trying to figure out the new direction of my channel, what it is that I want to be doing, because after making thousands of videos on Wheezy Waiter, sometimes I get a little bit worn down and I don't know what to do next. And reading has helped. I found this article on Medium. I've been reading a lot of Medium, for one thing. If you can pick your tags that you want, what types of articles you want. I think it's so much better than going to Twitter or Facebook, because it's thoughtful articles by smart people. And I found one article that I bookmarked. I think it was the first bookmark I made on Medium. It was How to Be Smarter Than People Smarter Than You. That's what it's called. I'm going to link to it in the doobly-doo. It basically says read, and it has a list of many books to read in categories of money, business, life, and health. I already talked to you about Decision, the book Decisive, it was called. That's one of the books from the list, and the one I'm reading now, Make It Stick, is another one from that list. I'm going to read all those books in that list, and it is helping me. It is helping me with a lot of things. But one thing it helps you do when you're reading, it's a very solitary act, and you focus on what you are doing and what you are thinking. And it sounds like that's what you need to be doing. Number 3, ask yourself if these people are worth hanging out with. You said you feel like absolute trash around these people. That could be for a couple reasons. That could be it's in your own head, and you're just you have a lot of anxiety, and it's really not grounded in reality, and maybe keeping a journal will help you realize that. Or these people aren't nice people. That could happen. They could be elitist. They could be very cliquey, and that you just don't fit in with them. Ask yourself that. Figure that out and act accordingly. Sometimes you do need to break ties with people that you think you want to be friends with if they're not very friendly people. Next, ask yourself why you don't know about student community projects or what everyone's up to. Etc., who's dating who, etc. Why don't you know that stuff? Some of that stuff I think you could probably find out if you did some research, went and talked to people, but you haven't. And is that because your friends are leaving you out of the information? Which, again, then it's probably not worth it. 2, maybe you just don't want to. Maybe if you were being honest with yourself, you don't want to know those things. Maybe that's not important to you, but you feel like you should, like that's something that you're supposed to do. In my experience, social things like who's dating who, what people are working on in the moment. In a year, none of that will matter. Maybe even in a month, a lot of that won't matter. When I was in high school and grade school, I remember when people would be dating each other in school. I always found it silly. I always thought it was like, who cares? We're just kids. This doesn't matter. and yet people treated it like it was the end of the world. I was a bit of an outsider in that way. And in college, I was just focusing on my band, and I completely blocked all of that out. I was more in my own world. Sounds like you might be in a small community school of some kind. It's not gonna matter. I know saying that doesn't really help, but it truly isn't gonna matter in a year. And if you're not up on these things, maybe you just don't want to be. And it's probably better to not be if it doesn't matter to you. Next one, figure out what it is you actually want. It's same thing, basically. It sounds to me like you want to be successful and you want to be perceived as successful. The way to do that, I think the best way to do that is focus on yourself. Focus on being successful. And all these social things will either fall into place with these people or you weren't meant to be friends with these people. And yeah, those are my notes on that. Lots of people go through this. I think one of the hardest things to do might be to break off with friends if they're not truly friends, but it might be the best thing to do if they're not good people. You shouldn't feel like trash around people. You should always feel good about yourself. You should, or work towards feeling good about yourself. If you're not, it's either something in your own head that keeping a journal might help you figure out, or it's something external, some people external that you need to eliminate from your life. I hope that helps. Now, a little bit of WheezyNews, as the channel says. I finally finished editing the sequel to Slanted and Disenchanted, and it's going up Tuesday evening. It's a documentary of my interdimensional travels, and I'm excited that I finally finished that. I've been editing that for a while. It took a lot longer than I expected it would. And now, next project, one of the next things, the rest of today, I'm going to be revamping the Patreon page. I've been saying I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to put up a welcome video. I'm going to update the perks, change them around a little bit. Some of them might get cheaper. None of them will get more expensive if you're already signed up for a perk. Some might get less expensive. Expensive is the wrong word. The price might go down. So there's the Patreon page if you'd like to support what I do. I'm going to be I'm working on the bloopers and the deleted scenes and the scripts and notes. I'm going to be putting those up on Patreon for the next video. So if you want those, you gotta sign up, because I won't be backtracking to those. So like the next video will be the next bloopers and deleted scenes and such. So if you want the ones for the next video, now would be the time to go. Subscribe there. Mitzy Shirt. Let's put the Mitzy Shirt up. And you know what? I haven't really mentioned this because we mentioned it on other forums, but the Driftless Pony Club album, Zastera, that has been up on DFTBA for a while. You could purchase a physical copy up there if you want. You could also get it on iTunes and such. My band, Driftless Pony Club. I'll link that down there in the doobly-doo as well. And check out that Medium article if you want to know what to read. I've only read a couple of the books, but it's been very helpful. That is all. Good luck, Sarah. Good luck anyone dealing with this problem. Thank you. Awkward smile. My phone's vibrating. Oh geez, someone's contacting me. Who is it? Oh, it's my friend Sam. He's someone I don't want to eliminate from my life. Yet.